Hey, I'm Tommy Chong. Welcome to High on Homegrown.
Yes, everybody, and welcome to High on Homegrown, the cannabis podcast from PercysGrowRoom.com. Before we move into this week's Grow Guide, I just want to keep you all updated on the interviews that are going to be happening over the next few weeks. Now, the interviews are available to Patreons and YouTube members. So if you are not a Patreon yet and you want to watch some of these interviews live as they happen, then head over to patreon.com/PercysGrowRoom and you can sign up for $4.20, and that's £3.50 for every month. So if you're not a patron already and you want to support the site, then please head over to patreon.com/Percys Grow Room and become a patron, because that would help us pay all the bills and you get access to all of these cool interviews that are coming up. So let me just tell you what we've got coming up. We have Dr. Bruce Bugby coming up on the 10th. That's on Tuesday. We have Chris Trump on the 12th and Tad Hassey on the 17th. Then we have Queen of the Sun, who works with Jordan River on the Soil Masterclass courses. They are super cool. So she will be coming to join us on the 26th. Then we have on the 31st of January, Jorge Cervantes. And on the 3rd of February, we have the legendary Tommy Chong. So as you can see, we have some awesome interviews coming up for all of you guys. So make sure you signed up as a patron if you want to catch those live. But anyway, for now, the Grow Guides, we're just going to do a quick review of 2022 and what we think is going to happen in 2023. We are joined by our good friend, Chad Westport. You've heard of this guy before. So there's all the spiel that needs to be done before the show. Enjoy the episode, and I'll speak to you at the end of this. See you in a bit. What's that song we're all supposed to sing in New Year? You know, about the old man's eyes and shit.
That one? Yeah, the old man's eyes, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there we go, everybody. It's a new year. 2022 is gone and 2023 is here. So, how is it for you so far? Has everybody had a nice time? Yeah, it's been exactly the same.
The whole part of a day we've had, yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, so the world isn't on fire just yet, but maybe it will be at some point. Because you have to remember, since 2019, the end of 2019, something happened. You all know what it is. And then since then, really, it's been downhill. And I remember the end of 2020, and we were there, and it's like, surely 2021 has got to be better than 2020 was, because 2020 was a bit dire. And then it was like, yeah, yay, 2021. And then the end of 2021 came, and it was all like, wow.
What was that?
That was a bit savage. That was a shit season. So, and then it was like, so 2022 must be better than 2021, of course, because that was shocking. Then 2022 came, and then, you know, that shit happened up there at the top of Europe with that guy, you know, and that happened in like February time, didn't it? And it's just been a struggle all the way through 2022. We've all been through some shit this year. So now we're all reaching the end of 2022, hoping that in 2023 things are going to get better. But pattern recognition is like a human trait that we all have, and it just kind of makes you realize that maybe 2023 is going to be a bit shit as well. And we're going to try and prove that wrong in this episode.
Oh, how the hell are we going to do that?
Fuck knows. Fuck knows.
Macky reveals his fans only page. It's getting better already.
Hey, the real fans already know it, baby.
Ooh. All right, back to the Grow Guide.
Dark, yes.
Shit. But yeah, let's not go into that OnlyFans discussion. That's something which we might all have to do in 2023 to pay the fucking gas bill here in the UK. You know, because this is something that we need to consider in 2023, especially if you're growing in the UK. Because around the rest of the world, the prices are going up, but they're going up exponentially here in the UK. We're getting really fucked over when it comes to energy bills. And for many of us in the UK, we're going to have to consider growing less, maybe, because the amount it's actually costing to run your fucking grow room now. It's expensive, man. It's gone up at least 3 times. Because the missus showed me the graph of when I was growing compared to when I wasn't. And it was 3 times less electricity usage. Like I'm using a third of what I used to use when I was growing. Wow. So to put that back in, and that was when electricity was cheap. It's not cheap, but cheaper. It was before all this fucking Russia shit kicked off and we started paying stupid amounts for electricity.
The what? What? Where did you say?
Oh,
The who?
shit. Shit. I said it. Shit.
Oh,
No, that's a curse word there, everybody. You have to smoke.
that's
Can't,
it.
can't
Fire
say
up,
the R word.
guys.
Can't say the R word. Smoke. Smoke. Yeah, so maybe in 2023 we're gonna have to reduce our grow sizes, or maybe get more efficient lighting, or you just figure out ways where we can grow more weed for less money.
Well, you did hit on one right there that I've already started doing. That is more efficient lighting. I mean, even in the last 2 years, the lighting has gotten almost 50% more efficient in some cases. So
Yes.
the stuff that's out there today is just leaps ahead of 5 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. And, I lurk on the show too. So I know that you've kind of covered that as far as different ways to maybe reduce the bills or things that you can save in the grow room. But what about if somebody went just to like maybe autos and just was 12-12 from start to finish? Granted, that's not the most ideal lighting schedule, but it still puts out something and probably saves you some money.
Yeah, for sure. But like if you're an 18.6, 2 days on 12-12 has like saved you a day on 18. You know what I mean? It all adds up, man. It all adds up. If you've been running on 12-12 for 2 weeks, that's a week's worth of electricity that you've essentially saved. And if you're paying 100 quid a week for your electricity, that's a lot of fucking money, man.
That adds up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is the way a lot of people are going to go. A lot more micro plants and just popping more seeds rather than trying to cover a bigger footprint. Pop more seeds and pay instead of paying a ridiculous amount on the electricity bill. Seems like a way to go. But what happened in 2022 that we can look at and be like, that was fucking good, in favor of cannabis? Like, where was legalized? That was surprised. Thailand legalized in 2022, didn't it?
Big ways.
Yeah, and Germany is looking at it. I guess you would definitely think like at least that's a positive thing right now that we're looking at opening Europe at this point.
And what states in the USA legalized in 2022? Were there any?
Well, we have several of them, and we all know because we have many members over at Percys that Missouri went big.
Missouri,
This big, a lot of members, Percys members were really happy about that one. New Hampshire, not Rhode Island, excuse me. Rhode Island did accept it, so it was a referendum, but they now have legal cannabis over there. South Dakota went yes, correct, Chad?
I would have to look that up.
I think South Dakota said yes, and North Dakota said no, or is it North Dakota said yes and South Dakota said no? One of them that way, wasn't it?
That's probably why one's called North and the other's called South.
But anyway, one said yay and one said nay. So I think North said yay and South said nay on that.
Wow.
So you had those go there. Now the earlier ones in the year were the earlier ones. I know we have a few of them that are looking at it now. But of course, then we also saw something which a lot of people in the community are looking at as a positive. We also had Arkansas reject the cannabis legalization because they saw the bill as being flawed. So it was a situation to where it could have immediately corporatized cannabis in Arkansas, and the voters said, no, we're not doing this. So I consider that a positive. The voters said, let's have a better bill.
And that's good. People should not be afraid to do that. I know it was done a few years ago in Ohio, but don't just take anything that's offered because you want it. A lot of these deals are not in the favor of medicinal use or home growers. So yeah, that was good to see.
What else happened good for cannabis in 2022? It wasn't a great year, really. I mean, nothing's happened here in the UK. We're in exactly the same position as we were fucking 3-4 years ago when they legalized it for medical use, but done nothing.
Well, we actually have now the legal cannabis is now for sale in New York City.
Oh yeah, recreational as well. Yeah, you see that?
It went recreational, and they actually started, recreational legal sales. And I believe Virginia went legal sales this year too, if I'm not mistaken. It's really hard to keep up with 50 states because things are, chugging along slowly in each state one at a time, and I actually don't keep up with it too closely. But I do remember recently that some of those Northeast states are now actually, but they were technically legal, but they're now actually having dispensaries, and actually it's available.
New York is like a dream. Anywhere you can smoke a cigarette, you can smoke weed.
That's the way it should be. And, a lot of the experts are saying that that's going to give New York a big advantage with tourism.
Oh, yeah.
But
I think so.
yeah, to fight back, and then Vegas is now looking at these high-end consumption lounges now to fight back against that, because they don't want open consumption. So they're gonna do it the Vegas way.
So there's a cool article here which I've seen up on Wikipedia, and it goes on about the legality of cannabis and what places have legalized and what haven't, but it doesn't tell you by year. But right now, there's only like, what's that, 7 places that are legal for recreational around the world. We have Canada, which is legal, Uruguay, legal but buying prohibited for foreigners, wankers. Georgia, not USA, Georgia, but the one just underneath Russia, Georgia. I said it again, said the R word.
Does that count?
But different,
that doesn't count.
Yeah, it
Out of
doesn't really
context.
count, does it? Yeah, it's different
Out of
context.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. You're talking about geography here. Legal for possession and consumption, but not for sale. And that was in July 2018 when that happened. Malta. That's interesting.
That happened. I think it was early last year or late the year before. I remember that one coming up because it was out of the blue, right here in the middle of nowhere. Malta says, "Yeah, we'll do it."
You know what I'm saying? That's a nice place as well. Legal for possession, consumption, and cultivation. Distribution is allowed through non-profit cannabis clubs.
And I think I did read something recently that the Italian government was going to try and looking into this or something like that. Basically, Malta, they legalized, but somebody's going to try and push back against them. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on that one in the news. But I did recently hear that there was some issues with that.
So we're kind of talking about things for 2023. It's like almost a little embarrassing for me not to know this answer, because like I really got into education through the medicinal system and spreading that word. And that has kind of been my mission. But, with legalization, sometimes you fall away from it. So 2023, one of my goals, and I think everybody's goal, especially in legalized places where your biggest conversation is, oh, do I get cookies or do I get Skittles, bro? Get back on that medicinal tip, man. Start spreading that word, start preaching that word, and just educating people, because it was really about the potential of the plant, not necessarily legalization. That's just a side benefit. So for me, 2023, if you ask me this question in a couple months, hopefully I'll have that answer for you right off the top of my head.
Mexico legalized. Mexico legalized, didn't they? That was this year. That was 2022.
Yeah.
Legal for possession, consumption, and cultivation with a permit, but not for sale.
Uh-oh, I bought it there.
Oh,
whoops.
Yeah.
You broke the law.
It's just one of those you have to kind of ask somebody in the back room kind of thing, and just kind of, is that how it's still done down there, Chad?
Just go to the beach and look for a stoner. That's what we did. And it took us 5 minutes, man. 5 minutes.
He looks like he knows.
Exactly.
South Africa is also legal for recreational, legal for possession, cultivation, and use in private places, but not for sale. And then, of course, Thailand, which was another one which was done this year, legal for possession, sale, and home cultivation. 0.2% THC limit applied to processed products such as oils and edibles, but not the cannabis plants. Interesting.
So you could concentrate like CBD and stuff there, but not traditional dab.
So it's a step in the right direction. It's not all the way there, is it? That's the way it goes, man.
Yeah, I think it's cool that they opened it up to people to grow for themselves if they want, because there's a lot of farmers there that don't necessarily have a good crop at the moment. But they also gave out 1 million clones. Thailand did?
Here, take this, grow these plants.
So that's more than just be like, sure, you could grow it. You're like, here, grow it.
A lot of decriminalized places here. We have the Netherlands, of course. We all know the Netherlands. Spain's decriminalized. Australia, Argentina, Barbados, Bermuda, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Croatia, Czech Republic, Ecuador, Finland, Germany. Illegal but may not be prosecuted if possession is in small quantities of personal use. There's Israel decriminalized, Italy possession decriminalized, Jamaica decriminalized up to 2 ounces, Luxembourg, Morocco, Peru, Poland, Portugal. So it's fucking happening, you know. United
Yeah.
Kingdom decriminalized illegal but cannabis warning or an on the spot fine. They fucking love that shit. Penalty
On
notice
this,
for disorder. This is how policing works in the UK now, mate. If they can fucking fine you for something, they'll be there on the spot. But if somebody's burgled your house and they can't find anybody for it, then they don't give a shit.
now when they say on the spot fine, do you have to like pay it right there, or
No,
can you pay it
it'll
right
be
there?
like when you get a parking ticket, and it's like you've got
Yep.
2 weeks to pay £30, and if you don't pay within 2 weeks, it's going to be 150.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
It's
Yep.
that
Yep.
kind of shit. That kind of shit, you know. Pay it now and don't ask any questions and just do as you're told, and you'll get a cheaper rate. But if you want to start kicking off the fuss, they're gonna charge you 4 times as much.
Yeah.
It's bullshit, man. Bullshit.
I just paid a 21-year-old parking ticket the other week.
Ooh.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, that's what the fuck, man. Did you not know you had it or something?
Well, I knew I had it at the time, but it was in a different state in a different county. And I was, again, 20 years ago, I didn't have as much money and I was just on the road, so I didn't really pay it. And I moved around. So over the years, I got a couple collection notices. Never, if you respond to them, then it starts the clock over. So I just never responded. You would think the statutes of limitations runs out. No, I looked it up and contacted a lawyer. Oregon State, they're pretty kind of broke right now, one county. So a judge authorized them to go back through all of their records, and it was very quick. So spot fine. So I got a letter on like first week in November saying, "Hey, Department of Revenue, State of Oregon, you owe this much money in 10 days." I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. Did my research to find out, again, even if I had to pay a 21-year-old freaking parking ticket. And I did. And then like when I got back from Mexico, there's a letter like, yeah, so we issued a warrant against you because you didn't pay it, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, F this. Okay, so I paid it right away. 21-year-old parking ticket, man. They finally got me. F you, Oregon.
Fucking hell. Damn, man. 21-year-old parking ticket. That's nearly old enough to break up with Leonardo DiCaprio, you know?
Oh, look at that. That's why I come here.
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio and his 25-year-old limit and shit. You know, I got bottles of whiskey older than his girlfriend. It's crazy.
That's horrible.
It's bad, isn't it? It's bad.
Yes.
It's like in his 50s now or something. Speaking of Leonardo DiCaprio, random tangent. Have you all seen the deep fake of Arnie being Rose on Titanic? It's fucking hilarious, man. I want you to draw me, Jack.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's fucking hilarious. You're all gonna check that out after the show. You know, if you're listening, go Google that now. Just deep fake Arnie on Titanic. You have to go check it out. Look at my boobies.
You're disturbingly good at that accent.
It's practice, man. Practice. Shit. That shit cracks me up. Yeah, real funny video. Go check that out. Deep fake Arnie.
He is actually Arnie. It's just when he's Macky, that's the fake accent.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe it's my real accent. Oh shit. Yeah, Arnie's fucking funny though. I love anything with Arnie, and it's good shit. Arnie cracks me up. He's like 75 years old now or something crazy, right?
I don't doubt it. Are you a Kindergarten
like
Cop
that.
fan?
Oh yeah, I love Kindergarten.
It's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
Yes.
Put the cookie down.
Maybe it's a tumor. Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Oh shit, man. That's classic movie. Classic shit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. He made some good ones, man.
It
Started to go a bit downhill and Jingle All the Way, but that was still okay.
It was okay. It was tolerable.
But that's the one where he says, "Put the cookie down," isn't it? That's where that one's from. Because the guy's around his house and eating his cookies, and he's pissed off because the guy's there, his neighbor's there, and shit. Yeah, that's a good movie. It's a good movie. Arnie did loads of good movies. But anyway, random tangent about Arnie. Yes, 2022, bit of a shit year, but 2023 is going to be good, right? We're going to cross our fingers. Hopefully, a lot of good shit happens, man. Do we have any hopes for legislation? Ireland is looking quite promising. We've seen that.
Actually, yeah, Ireland and from what Bubblehawk's saying, and Australia's pushing forward a little bit. So
Yeah.
we've got Germany poised to do something here in 2023, hopefully, and then you've got Ireland that's looking more promising. Even if it expands its medical program and gives easier access, that would be huge for Ireland. But anything would help them.
Yeah.
Everything's just always a slow process when it comes to government. So you'd think that even if something changed now, it'll take a year before something actually happens. Yeah. I think the UK is still a long way away from anything, man. Our government just has no fucking idea what's going on whatsoever about anything, never mind cannabis. There's so many other things for us to be dealing with right now.
Well, on a national level, I'm unfortunately not too optimistic about 2023 nationally. We've just had a major shift in control of legislative houses and things like this. And there was really, in my opinion, not a real heavy effort for legalization for the last 2 years when there might have been a chance of pursuing it. And I think that with the results of the last election and the changes in power, that 2023 is pretty dismal as far as national regulation changes. I mean, the Republicans have killed fair banking multiple times. They'll now control the House, so don't expect that to come through. Yeah. The MORE Act is gone. That's not going to happen. So yeah, it's going to be a year for cannabis as far as national law of meetings and studies and talk. That's all we're going to get.
What do you think, Chad? You think the same thing?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bunch of stroking. Either party is capable of changing the legislation, changing the laws, but I don't think any of them are going to take it up unless they've already fulfilled their agenda. They're on the high horse. They're feeling confident because for some reason, even though both sides absolutely agree on it, it's still a hot topic issue with constituents, which I don't get. So yeah, nobody's going to make that their glory piece for the year. I can't think of a better term. Their pet project.
Yeah, nobody's going to fall on the saber just to get cannabis legal. It's not
exactly. Yeah.
Do you think there's going to be any states that legalize throughout the next year, or do you think it's all like pretty much on pause because it's not like an election year, is it?
No, it's not going to be on pause. You have a few states that are poised to actually do local elections to try and get cannabis moving again. I think you're going to see Arkansas try and rewrite a better bill and try and submit that as fast as they can. Yeah. Hopefully you'll have a few other attempts. I think both of the Dakotas I did check did pass on it, which is curious because South Dakota had previously approved medical cannabis. I believe it was medical cannabis. And then the governor came back and slapped them, basically said, though, according to the legislative process, you have to do it this way. And when they went back to the ballot to try and do it that way, they voted no.
That's right. The voters passed it and the governor said, nope, don't care.
Yeah. And then they tried to do it again, but now they have to do it in pieces. So they can't say, before they tried to lay it all out in one bill, but the way that their constitution is laid out, they say that you can't do that. It has to be laid out step by step. So you have to first legalize cannabis, then you have to legalize the structure to grow it, then they have to legalize how to sell it. So it was going to be basically what he did is he put as many roadblocks in front of them as they possibly could, but they have to surmount each roadblock one at a time. So it's impossible, not impossible, improbable.
Yeah, and Oklahoma, which was, the last great place to legalize as far as just like open market where anybody could go get involved if you were able to do it right. They just put moratorium on licenses, and that seems to be the trend. So any state that kind of
there's that fucking word again, and I've never heard this word before. This moratorium word, and it's come up numerous times today. And Chad is just using it in a fucking sentence as if it's a normal word there. This is another update to the simulation, man. Like kale was an update to the simulation. What other recent thing was an update to the simulation? This fucking Juicy Couture. Remember that brand was talking about? Another
yes.
update to the simulation, man. This fucking Mandela effect and shit.
Mackie, the word for the month is moratorium.
God
Yep.
damn.
Yeah.
No, but one good thing about Oklahoma is they're poised to put the cannabis into state constitution and basically turned it into where it can never be taken away from them again. So that will be a really good thing.
That would be a good thing.
It was
Gosh,
passed on a referendum. They're going to go ahead and pass it so that, yeah, the governor can't turn around and say, well, we don't want you to do that anymore. He will not be able to touch it.
Right, because that almost is kind of the way of the tide. And gosh, it all depends on where you sit of whether 2023 is going to be a good year for cannabis. Because for MSOs, multi-state operators, well-funded companies, it's probably going to be a pretty good year for them because they're going to be able to consolidate. They're going to be able to look at the market a little bit more. With other people going out of business, they'll be able to make a little bit more profits. But from like the small craft grower, it looks like it's going to be rough.
Yeah.
Wish I had something better to say.
Yeah. Yes. Seems like that's the way it's going, though.
Mm-hmm. And there's something that people don't really talk about a lot. We've talked about it a little bit tonight, that would really help a lot of these legalized areas out. And the craft growers, in my opinion, would be better promotion of cannabis tourism. I mean, it's a real thing, but you never see advertisements for it. We're cannabis friendly or things like this. You can't do it.
No.
But I know anytime we go to a legal state, we always check for cannabis friendly many things, accommodations and how close is the nearest dispensary. I'm sorry, I'm going to do it. I'm there. So, but yeah, development of cannabis tourism would really help a lot of states that have legalized.
100%.
Outlawed Pagan there, he said, what is kale? You must be running on an older version of the simulation, mate. You got to get an update. You need a good night's sleep so you can get an update.
Check your notifications. You probably got a few software updates. Yeah, you'll be offline for a few days.
Fucking kale. God damn. I've never even tried this shit. I don't know, man.
Why are you knocking it?
Because it just came out of nowhere a couple of years ago. And it was like everybody had always been eating this shit. And it's like, what are you talking about? What even is it?
Dude, kale has always been there. Kale was that little green stuff on the side of your plate that was a garnishment that nobody thought to eat. It was just there for looks.
Yeah, and now we're all starting to run out of food. It's like, no, kale's good,
Yeah, it's that stuff that we couldn't decide. What is that, plastic or is that vegetable?
Yes.
Because you chew the raw kale. Yeah, you really got to chew on it.
That's decoration food, right?
Well, it can be. I can remember as a kid chewing on it some because
this isn't food. This is what food eats.
We didn't have juicers back then, or good enough juicers.
God damn, fucking kale. What the fuck? Yeah, don't eat it, everybody. There's better herbs out there. But yeah, man, 2023, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I'm hopeful. But we said that about 2022 and 2021, fucking 2018 when they made cannabis legal for medicine in the UK. I was thinking 2019 is going to be the year they're going to legalize finally. And here we are, closer to 2025 than we are 2019. And still no legal cannabis here in the UK. But we've had some celebrity losses throughout 2022 as well. But it wasn't as bad. There's one particular year when we lost everybody. I can't remember what year it was, man. It was like the year of the death. Everybody died. Michael Jackson died. There's loads of people who just died in one particular year. So 2022 wasn't too bad in that aspect. The Pope died on the last day, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
The old Pope, not the new one.
The former Pope.
The former Pope, yeah.
I was going to say the old Pope, but that was just the whole Pope.
But no massive celebrity deaths I can really think of. Britney Spears is still going. Shocked about that. As soon as the dad said a 3 or 4, she would have gone wild.
Where are you from now?
UK.
And you can't think of any massive deaths in 2022.
The Queen did, yeah.
The Queen Mother. I mean, geez, oh my God.
No, it's like the actual Queen. I was thinking about celebrities though. I mean, the Queen, she was like furniture, man. Everybody. She doesn't class as a celebrity. She's in a different class, man.
I don't know. Over here, she's definitely classed in celebrity. Yeah, she's very much so. But yeah, That was
Yeah.
definitely a big loss for
Crazy,
the UK.
yeah.
Actually, the world, because
Mm.
she was your queen, but everybody knew her as the queen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we got this sausage fingers guy. It's just not the same, man. It's not the same. I don't know. Maybe it's time to get rid of that shit. Oh yeah, the special. The guy at the founder of the special died in 2022. That happened. Yeah. Dry
The
Horse.
band?
Maxi. Yeah, you know the specials.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. From Coventry in the UK. They were from. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
the lead guy died. Terry Hall. Yeah.
Oy.
Uh,
That was part of my introduction to ska music.
for most people, that's the case.
Yeah, yeah.
Who else? I was just thinking there's somebody else as well. Maxi Jazz from Faithless. You know Faithless, Chad?
No.
Oh my gosh. You would like
Vapors?
it. No, the Faithless, man. Faithless.
Ah.
Insomnia. You know the tune Insomnia?
I don't think so. No.
God is a DJ.
I know Insomnia. I listened to it the other day. Yes, I do know it now, Mackie.
Yeah, if you hear it, you'd know it. It's for the famous
Okay, yeah,
epic
Yeah.
tunes from back in the 90s, man.
Okay. I was just listening earlier to a Photech mix from 97 on BBC Radio 1.
Wow.
It was epic. But yeah, I'll have Faithless. I will have to look that up.
Yeah, I would put it up, but it's not worth another copyright flag, bro. But that was epic shit. Faithless was epic, man. It was sad to see him go. And this is all at the end of the year because shit happens throughout the year, but we forget it as we move on, you know?
Yeah, yeah. We're a quick news cycle type of society.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Like 5 hours, man.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
You bring any fruits and vegetables to Mars?
That's another Arnie reference.
Arnie can be referenced in everything, man. It's like you can play the 7 degrees of Arnie. You know that game, the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, how you have to go through all different movies
yes.
to get to Kevin Bacon. Yeah, man. I've never played that game. I don't think I'd be very good at it.
I'm pretty close to Kevin Bacon, but I've never tried to figure it out to Arnie, but I bet I can because he hung out with one of the Paul brothers who hangs out with UFC fighters who I've met, and I know someone that works deep in the UFC, so he probably has a relationship with them. That might be how I could get to Arnie. I'll have to try to figure this one out.
You see how Dana White is looking old this year?
Yes.
He's always looked like pretty fit and healthy, but nowadays he's lost some weight and he looks old now. He looks like an old guy, man.
Yeah.
No offense, Dana.
Uncle Dana, no offense.
You know?
Yeah. He went to the doctor and doctor was like, you're gonna die in like 2 years if you don't cut this shit out, because he was getting kind of beefy. And so yeah, he did. He started getting lean and fit again. But that also made him look a little bit older too. So who knows? Maybe he's off the steroids now. Oh, didn't say it.
No, I did say it. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
No, allegedly.
It's not worth the flag, bro.
But yeah, it's been an interesting year all the same, man. 2022 has definitely been an interesting one. They released a new Avatar movie.
Yep.
Remember that? I haven't seen it. I'm not going to go see it. Apparently, there's going to be a director's cut version of the new
Lord.
Avatar, and it's going to be 9 hours long.
Holy.
Below me.
So what the
down.
actual fuck, man?
The most expensive motion picture made in history, so far. This is what we're looking at here. I mean, I'm not ready to go, beat my way to a theater to see it immediately, but I'm going to have to see it because it's the most expensive movie ever made. Got to see it.
That's how they lead you in. It doesn't mean it's going to be any good. Fuck that shit.
I'll wait till I can get it for, for nothing almost.
You download it.
Exactly.
9 hours sounds like a full acid trip. It would have to be for me to sit there and watch the whole movie for 9 hours. It would have to be as an acid trip.
You just gave everybody a reason to watch it.
You know what I'm saying? Just drop half a tab. You know what I mean? But then watch it through your Oculus Rift or your PlayStation VR. You know what I'm saying? So it feels like you're really in there and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Mhm.
Wow. All right. I gotta get going, guys. I'm
Yeah.
sorry for a quick one, but I need to go pick up some acid and Oculus glasses.
You know, he's
So
on it now. I have to go. I have to go too. I'll catch you all later.
But right on. Thanks for letting me in, and thanks for the quick conversation. Sorry to derail the show, but
Are you
Well,
are you really going? Are you going?
yeah, I do.
All
I
right,
really
cool.
do.
Yeah, that's cool,
I
bro.
gotta
That's cool.
go.
Thanks for dropping in, man. Thanks for dropping in.
Yeah, no
by all
worries.
means, man. Appreciate it.
Oh shoot! Happy 2023, guys, and let's do this again soon.
Of course, you're always
Anytime,
welcome,
man.
bro. Yeah,
You
let us
know where
know.
the address is. It's always the same.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got the special key.
Nice.
I'm saying.
There you
Is
go.
that where this thing goes? Somebody told me to do something else with it, but
Yeah, Macky.
all right. Everybody in chat, rock on. Thank you,
Yeah, man.
guys.
Happy New
Have a
Year,
good
bro.
day.
Yes, sir. Happy New Year, Chad.
Goodbye.
Bye, man. All right. That was nice. Drop by.
It's always good to get Chad, and we always go on to nostalgia, don't we?
It's okay. It's what we do, you know.
But yeah, man, 2023. Let's see what happens. You think? I mean, does anybody in the chat actually think that the UK is going to be legalized by the end of this year?
You know, my wish for 2023 is that I'm completely wrong and everything goes legal.
Yeah,
You know, I
We
wish
can
I would
dream,
be
eh?
completely wrong. Yeah, because you know we're becoming skeptics here. You know,
Mhm.
the longer we do this, and the more roadblocks we see being thrown up against it, the more and more skeptical we become. It's a sign of the money's entering the market now, and you've got pharma trying to fight legalization efforts, and the government caught in the middle taking the money from whoever's paying the most, and it just gets depressing over here, man.
And
But
Twisted agrees. People in chat, Casso agrees. Gellert agrees. Everybody's saying nope.
yeah, unfortunately, that's just the way it is. That's what we're seeing right now. It's
Mhm.
you know we had hope after the last election when we were told certain things, and at this point in time, they could tell us for an next election year, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, and people would say, yeah, right. You already blew this one. You know, you had your chance, you took your shot, you screwed it up. We don't believe you anymore. Nothing's going to happen. So answer is maybe some states will come online. That's the hope. More
Yeah.
states come online, it puts more pressure on the federal people. So
Mhm,
if we can get it, the closer we are to 100% adoption across the states, the more pressure the federal people will have to be.
How many states are recreational now?
21,
Damn.
or is it 22? Something like that. But
It's
yeah,
getting close to half, isn't it?
yeah, we are. We're just a hair away from going half. And once you breach that half, and you add in the District of Columbia, which is technically not recreationally legal, but they have made it so easy to deal with. You can self-certify medical just by walking into a medical dispensary in Washington right now in DC.
Right.
So while they're not recreationally legal, it is. But I mean, they had to do that because of federal regulations. So once you have 25 states and the District of Columbia, you have crossed that threshold.
California is legal.
Yes. See,
So
by population,
yeah, by population, then you probably have
we
half.
have more than 50% of the country by population, because a lot of places with large cities and big populations have gone legal. So, I mean, you got California with several large cities. You've got New York with big populations. You've got Illinois with big populations. You know.
There's a lot of places that have got medical use legalized anyway. So
Yeah.
it's,
We have, I think 30. Well, we have all but 3 states have some form of medical, but some of those.
Well, it says
forms,
on this list here, it says legalized for the USA, legalized in 21 states, 2 territories, and
Yes.
the District of Columbia, but illegal at federal level, decriminalized in another 10 states with 1 territory also. And for medical, it says legalized in 37 states, 4
Right.
territories, and the District of Columbia. So that's what, 42 altogether?
Now, the thing that I believe the map that I saw last is they're saying 37 medical. I think we have a higher medical count, but it depends how you count it. Some of the states that call themselves medical with the CBD only program, highly restricted.
Right.
So that may not be counted. Depends on what poll you're looking at as to what access to medical you have. You know, it's one of those things. Yeah, it's like you talk about it all the time, Macky, in the UK. technically you have a medical program, but you got to pay an arm and a leg to get it. So it's not really technically a good medical program.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. So we have that over here in the States too, in some states where it's on the books, just the program never gets developed.
And there's still countries out there that are illegal for recreational and medical.
Oh yeah.
Afghanistan for one of them. Surprise.
Well, one of them that we know of for sure is Russia, right? Because of the recent news articles that we covered about Russia. You know,
scroll down here. Yeah, there it is. Illegal on both.
Yep.
God damn.
We know somebody who just got released over there with a very controversial trade, all because of a CBD vape cart.
Fucking damn right, it's controversial, man. It's absolutely disgusting.
It was. I mean, bravo, she's back home. I'm not taking off of that, but there's other people that are just as critical.
I mean, is that there's the teacher who's been arrested for being a spy, and he had possession of cannabis as well. Is that the guy? I mean, there's a few people who
I think there was a teacher. He was caught with either a half or a quarter ounce of cannabis flower and some vape carts or something like that. He was a medical patient, and yeah, he's in prison. He's in what do you call it? Penal colony or something over there. Then you've got the ex military guy that's been arrested for being a spy. And but
that's it. There's more people who could have been brought home.
Yeah.
Especially for such a big fucking trade when they gave the what was his Merchant of Death was his
Merchant
name?
of Death, yeah. But they caved to a media thing. I'm glad you got home, Brittany. I'm not taking anything off of that, but there are other people that still need that help.
There's people in the USA who are in prison for less. What the fuck, man? Absolute fucking joke. They should be releasing all people in the USA for possession of cannabis right now, and not that bullshit. Oh, we release all the federal people. It's just some bullshit that's leading everybody along. Something needs to be actually changing, man. It's goddamn fucking. Just sick of this shit, man. They're playing these silly games over something as harmless as cannabis.
It really is,
fast, man.
People argue that about every time that I've been, or people talk about the government that says this and that and the other. I've been bringing up the Schaefer report, which clearly said in the 70s, 1973, that the government shouldn't have even started the war on drugs, but the government buried its own study. I mean, and this is what we're facing. It's stupidity, absolute stupidity. The government has already done the studies. They already know it should have never been made illegal. And here we are jumping through hoops. 20, 30, 40, 50 years later, we're jumping through hoops.
And it wouldn't surprise me if we're going to be still doing this in another 20 fucking years.
Yeah. I mean, we've been lied to for that long and longer. It's ridiculous.
But yeah, let's try not to be a downer, a Debbie Downer.
Hey, you asked me what I thought about 2023, and I mean, I have actually been reading those articles at the end of 2022 about this.
It's truth, though, isn't it?
Everybody says it's the truth with the changing political climates around the United States right now, and with cannabis coming under harder fire from the pharmaceutical lobby. It doesn't really look really promising right now in the U.S. So, like, more of the same is what we have. Grow your own. Keep it to yourself.
That's exactly it, man.
Best thing you can do right now.
Just keep growing your own. It's the best shit anyway. And just
keep it to yourself. And if you need somebody to talk to, come over to join a community. We recommend Percys. But unfortunately, if you don't have access now, I doubt that you're gonna have like super access in 2023.
Don't be sitting there thinking they're gonna legalize this year, then I'll do it. Just fucking do it. Just don't wait for these fuckers. If you haven't grown your own yet because you're waiting on these fuckers to change rules, stop waiting. It's not gonna happen anytime soon.
It seems to be that we're still waiting for a certain generation of politicians to move out of the system so that we can actually get some. And we don't have a lot of enlightened young politicians, but more of the younger politicians seem to be a little more enlightened and open-minded as far as cannabis goes. But it's not all about age, because even Nancy Pelosi was in favor of legalization. So, it's one of those things. You just got to watch. It becomes an issue. So when you go to the polls, ask. It's important.
Times will change, man. We will get there. It's going to take longer than we all expect. But just stay strong, keep growing your own fucking weed, and don't let them ever think that you're doing anything wrong. Simple as that. But you know, I don't want to leave it on a sad note. You know, it's
No, I mean the good news is we're still able to grow our own. We still know how to do it. We're sharing the information and trying to bring other people on board. You know,
and we'll do that regardless of legality.
It's not impossible to do this. It's very simple.
But we'll quickly move on to a question. That's what we'll do. We have one question here from we did have two, but the other one was for Bubble Huck, and he isn't here, so we'll ask that next week. But, we got one for Top Loader. He said, here's a question. I've been growing autos and topping them once with no problems in order to control height. I'm thinking about topping my next auto grow twice. What does the panel think? Any thoughts, points, or tips? Just once is fine, mate. You don't do it any more than that. It's not necessary.
I'll do it twice. And
Do you?
I've even done it 3 times, but you have to just make sure you're done like within the first 25 days. From the seed sprouting 25 days later, if you do all your topping, you'll be grand, but you got to go fast.
Do it before any of the flowers start.
Sometimes I find if I'm going to do multiple toppings on auto that you're actually doing almost like micro toppings. Like you can barely see that shoot coming out. And if you can just get enough to pinch it out, that counts as a topping and your plant will actually respond to something like that. So with autos, sometimes I use tweezers. I won't lie. But I've topped them 3 times and they keep on going.
Yeah. I only top once.
Yeah. One's fine. Don't get me wrong. But if you want to top it more than once, don't be afraid to just get it done within 25 days.
Yeah, Casso said, if you grow in autos, have you tried feminized photo periods? It's pretty much the same thing if you leave it on 12-12 the whole time. It will flower after a few weeks and produce a small plant.
Yeah.
Autos are good shit, man. Autos are a great way to grow. So don't be deterred from them. If you haven't given them a shot for a while, give them a shot because they're good fucking plants nowadays. But yes, just experiment. Do what you like. You know, the monkey says that he tops his more than once, so you'll be fine doing it too.
Yeah. I think Macky said it before. An auto is just a cannabis plant. You just have to be aware that you're on a time schedule with it. So work quick, but anything you can do to a photo, you can do with an auto if you work quick enough. Your skill level will determine what you can accomplish. But yeah, it's a cannabis plant. It can be topped. It can be transplanted even.
Yeah. Yeah, that used to be one of the rules, isn't it? If you go in autos, put them in the final pot straight away, and it's like, no, you just treat it like a fucking cannabis plant, man. It'll be fine.
My last auto grow, I transplanted twice, and then everything was fine. But yeah, the trick on when you're doing that though is when you're transplanting the autos, you want to do it so you're introducing as low a root shock as possible. So, you know, slip it easily out of the pot, do what you have to do, get it back in the next pot. So the plant sees a benefit from the up potting and doesn't have any stress. So, I mean, like I would not consider taking an auto out of a fabric pot and up potting it, because a lot of times with those fabric pots, the roots grow into it. You'll be ripping the roots pretty heavily, getting that plant out. You could shock it. Some autos are more sensitive than others.
It's just hard to get it out the fucking pot as well.
It is.
It's easy to slide out of a plastic pot.
And that's why if I'm gonna be doing that with an auto, I use plastic pots because it just works. You know, there's really no rules to grow in this plant other than figure out what works best for you. That's
right. It's not complicated or anything. It will just do its thing. You just guide it along the way.
Yeah, learn what the plant needs, and you'll figure out what you need to do with it. I mean, look around on various sites and even on Instagram, you'll see this growth styles vary so much.
And of course, come and join us over on Discord as well, and show off your plants over there. We've got a new plant picture section, so come and show off your pictures over on our Discord server. It'll be in the link, the description of this episode, this video. The download will be there, so come and join us on Discord. We could see more people over there. But yes, that's about it, really. That's the Grow Guides. That's our predictions, and I know it wasn't too hopeful here for 2023, but we've been treated so bad for so long. This is just how we are now. Let's hope that we're wrong and it just gets legalized everywhere in 2023. But
Phew, man, that would be nice, wouldn't it? If I could come on here and whatever time and say, okay, I was wrong. I'll eat crow on this one, it would be worth it. It would definitely be worth it.
I'll eat crow. Is that some saying?
That is, yeah. Eat crow means eat your words, man. You'll eat your words.
Right.
You take it back. I said it wasn't going to happen. That's it.
Remember that episode of the 70s show where Fez ate a crow? And he was like, I ate somebody's soul. He was talking about delicious black pheasants or something. He thought it was. 70s show is great TV. Anyway, let's go on to the outro for the 420. Yes, just in time. So there we go. That was the Grow Guides for this week. Back to normal schedule now. On Sunday, we have the live show. TG, Marge, Bubble Hawk Monkey, and myself are all going to be there on Sunday for the live stream. So back to normal schedule with the cannabis news on the Monday, the interview on the Wednesday, and Grow Guides on Friday. If you have any suggestions of what you want us to cover on Grow Guides now, because we've covered absolutely everything, but if you want us to go into more detail on something, then let us know. Head over to percysgrowroom.com, sign up. It's absolutely free, and you'll be able to let us know what you think we should be covering in the future episodes of Grow Guides. So get over there, sign up, let us know what you think. You can also join the Discord server, all absolutely free. But if you want to become a patron, head over to patreon.com/PercysGrowRoom. You can sign up there for $4.20 a month or £3.50 a month, and you will get access to all of these super cool interviews we've got coming up soon. So anyway, that's it for now. We'll catch you on Sunday for the live show. And if not, then you'll have the cannabis news on Monday. See you then. Have a good weekend, everybody. Stay high, stay safe. We'll see you on Sunday. Goodbye.